Hi there, Aric Hall with the Blaze of Glory. I thought I would take a minute or two and talk about the trip I took last year to Hell's Roaring Creek in northern Yellowstone. Some of the other Forrest Fenn treasure hunters had been out there because the word hell made them think of no place for the meek. So I thought I would give it a try. And you get out to the creek. I mean, it's beautiful, it's remote, it's about 20 miles long. If you want to get into the pine trees, which is where we're supposed to be looking for the treasure, you have to go upstream. But I wanted to go down to the terminus or delta of Hell's Roaring Creek and the Yellowstone River. At the end of Hell's Roaring Creek, you almost have to roll down a hill to get down to the water level, and it's like a real sandy beach. It was nice. I found a rock cairn, if that constitutes a blaze, but no treasure chest. As I was coming back up, just to the south of the lower Hell's Roaring Creek is an open field. I mean, it's a couple of miles long, and there are these huge boulders throughout that field. What I noticed is that the sunlight at the right angle against some of these boulders, it created a very bright reflection, like a blaze of fire. So needless to say, I had to leave the trail. I walked several hundred feet off of the trail, and I went out to these boulders. Then it gets really creepy. There's dead things everywhere. I found at least 2 complete rib cages. Several places I found scattered bones. It was at this point, I start looking over my shoulder to see what monster, what bear, what coyote, what animal left these dead carcasses. It was interesting because I never saw one live animal. Anyway, I never saw an animal, I never saw the cause of those dead bones, and I never found a treasure chest. But I hiked up several miles along the Hell's Roaring Creek. There are trees along the creek, and if you wanted to hide a treasure chest, it would be a great place to do it. No one would ever find it unless they knew the exact spot to go to. But I stayed out there for 3 or 4 hours, started succumbing to the heat and the sunlight, and I decided to go back to the car. The nearest stand of trees is close to the footbridge across the Yellowstone River, and the first shade tree you come to has a nice big boulder under it, and so I sat down to take a break and sat in a puddle of tree sap. Ruined the pants I was wearing, but it was a fun day. It was a great place to go see, but there was not much in the way of sage, and certainly not pine trees unless you go several miles upstream, and I had lost interest at that point. I didn't think it was a promising place to look for the treasure chest. After I had left Hell's Roaring Creek, I searched for information on people who had gone into Yellowstone National Park and were never seen from again. And sure enough, one of those people was last seen near the trailhead of Hell's Roaring Creek. I'm thinking about those bones